$500 investment basically translated into almost $80,000.
Yes, sir.
As
yes,
a college student in your senior year of college.
Of course, beautiful women as well, right? Could be a distraction as a young man, the wrong woman or chasing women or even going through heartbreaks on campus where that may stagnate you for 3-4 months because you could care less about doing a deal. So a lot of distractions at Virginia State. But again, that's life, right? It really prepares you for what's to come up next when you leave. He's a developer. He actually owns like the Croker Spa buildings and owns like developments. And he was like, Corey, I'm going to tell you one thing before you leave this office. When I was done working with him, he's like, dude, one thing I can tell you is, Corey, do not be a pothead, bro, because you're going to really need your mind in this business and in life. And I'm going to let you know all my friends that smoked the last 40, 50 years, they're just a little off, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. They're just a little off. So if I could tell you anything, you may just want to chill on it for a little bit and see where it leads you.
So you gotta get spicy. What's like a wild college story you got? Come on. Yeah, I know you got a couple. I know you got some. Like, this is VSU, man.
Nah, this is definitely VSU, man. I think some of the wildest stories, man. Is this like PG rated? I don't even know how I could talk on here.
Say what you gotta say.
And that's why I tell a lot of my younger brothers as well, if they have a great girl in college, like, you may want to truly spend your time with her and your life with her, because this is someone that really knows you for you and fell in love with you for you, and not all the extra stuff that comes on play when you get out of college in terms of your financials, your looks, where you live at, what kind of money you're making. So I do believe that, of course, a man should definitely, take care of his girl and give her the best experiences that he can.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Young and Dumb Show. We are back again with another guest, y'all. And the reason why I'm gonna tell you why I love this guest is because when we went to the same school, I feel like we're both young and we're doing it. And like, this show is called the Young and Dumb Show, right? And on the Young and Dumb Show, I want to highlight young people who are doing great things, and you're doing great things at a high level. Like, I'm just talking to you, you giving me game, talking about ClickFunnels and all that.
Right,
you feel me? So like, these are the type of people that we should be learning from, because people think you gotta be old, and not old, but like, you gotta be at a certain age to hit a certain level of success, but you can do that from where you are right now. So I'm here with Mr. Corey Vickers, y'all.
What's
up?
How you feeling? I'm feeling good, man. Feeling great. I'm happy again to have this opportunity, like you said, young and dumb, right? We've all been young. We're all young. We all sometimes do dumb things. So it's just an honor to really be here and to share this platform with you.
Yes, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for taking up on this offer and coming to give us some gems, right? So when we come on the Young and Dumb Show, we're talking to young people. I was breaking the whole Gen Z thing down, right? So when speak to your 16-year-old, 15-year-old self, like, what did you need to hear? Break it down like that. Like, give us the game, right? So first, introduce yourself and tell people what you do.
Okay, awesome. Well, my name is Corey Vickers.
I said Vicks, my fault.
Yeah, Vicks. It's Corey Vickers, my fault. You call me C Vic.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, my name is Corey Vickers. I run a real estate wholesale business as well as a rental company here in Central Virginia. So what we do is we run a marketing company where we, market to sellers off market and on market, and make offers to them, right? And be able to help them sell their property without having to pay realtor fees, closing costs, commissions. A lot of these properties that we do deal with need work. Some of them are outdated. Some of them could be in good condition, but mostly majority of our business are properties that need work. Tired landlords, people that pre-foreclosure, people that have passed away. But again, a lot of tired landlords as well.
All right. So let's get to it, right? So how old are you right now?
So right now I'm 26 years old.
You're 26 years old, right? And you've started a rental company. So we got to backtrack to the journey.
Yeah.
Of like, you went to Virginia State University. What did you study?
So originally I came to Virginia State University. Originally I'm from a small neighborhood called South Floral Park in New York. It's right adjacent to Queens, New York, as well as in Long Island. So I was actually playing football. I grew up on a football street. Everyone was very athletic. So I had a very strong upbringing as well. There was a lot of uncles on the streets, grandmas on the streets, black ownership. Of course, you can go down the street and get into a different lifestyle, but everybody on my block was athletes. So then my mom got a divorce, so we moved down to Chesapeake. So that's kind of where I learned the 7-5 lingo and this lifestyle down here. In 10th grade of high school, I got a football scholarship to Virginia State, Lincoln University in PA, as well as Norfolk State on a partial walk when I was a quarterback, kind of jumping around. Then I chose Virginia State. When I came here, I looked at the quads. I was like, when I seen Lincoln's, we love all our HBCUs, but I was like, no, Virginia State felt like the fit for me, family vibe as well. But it really started, again, my first few years here at Virginia State, man, it was a struggle financially. I remember when I first got here, I took the bus from New York, and I was like living on campus in Quad for a summer program with no beds, no covers. You know, I had a little disagreement with my parents at that time, so I didn't come here with much. And then from there, you know, that freshman year, I played football. I felt like I wasn't going to do anything after this 4 or 5 years later. From a financial literacy standpoint, there was other players from my area that I met at homecoming again. It was like, Corey, if you don't get your finances in order, if you don't figure out exactly what you're going to do in the next 4 years when you get out of here, it's going to be a struggle. So when I heard that at homecoming from some of the best players that ever come out of my area, I was like, wow, let me get my things together and figure out what I want to do. So that's when I left the football field. I said, let me figure out what I want to do. So I spent the year doing network marketing. That failed. And then got into like real estate really like my junior year.
So you heard that from the alumni homecoming. What made you feel like you should stop playing football? Right? Because you know how like a lot of times people know that, all right, maybe I don't want to go to the NFL or this is really not going anywhere, but they still play. So what made you say like, all right, I'm done?
So what really was, to be very transparent, the team or the coaches that recruited me in here had left. And one thing I told myself was that I did not want to jump around colleges trying to achieve the end goal at the 4 years. So what it really was it was a Gary Vee video, and he talked about this time, you know, young and dumb from 16 to 24, you know, you're entering the greatest 7-8 year period of your life before all the stresses of the world, the kids come in, or if you do have kids, it's hard, but this is the best time period. So when I heard that video, I said, you know what, you know, I really thought about it, prayed about it, and I was like, I may not be able to make it to the NFL, so let me spend these next 3 years becoming skillful and having mastery in a particular niche. So that's what made me decide to walk away.
How did you manage learning real estate and being a college student? Because I feel like a lot of times as a college student, we create this excuse of like, I got class, or I got all this homework. And we forget that like we are in college to like find a career at, right? To understand what we're doing after we graduate. We're not in college just to play around, right? So what made you feel like you can do both? You can handle both? So
what it really was, you know, again, like as we know, both members of, you know, fraternities and sororities, that it was a lot of work. You know,
what fraternity you proud of? You got shout out to
shout out to Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Beta Gamma chapter here, seat at Virginia State University. But what made me, it was no choice. Really, it was either I was gonna go get a job after I graduate and work, you know, for a big company. And for people that are entrepreneurs such as ourselves, we know that deep down that's not what we want to do. So it's just a thing of making the time work when you know that this may be your only option, or the second option is something that you really don't want to do, which is working a job. And you'll hear all that from your friends, your, you know, people around campus, your parents, grandparents say, hey, just focus on school now. When you get out, you can handle that. But I knew deep down that I need to figure that out before I got out. So it was hard, man. Like I said, you know, working at Food Lion, you know, working at, you know, even Ettrick Apartments in the front desk, you know, doing work study, you know, giving people rides around campus before Uber was around, you know, $5 rides to Walmart, $7 rides to be able to make it work. So that's how I started.
So what introduced you into real estate? What was that introduction?
Okay, so the introduction to real estate specifically, I was working an internship. It was my first internship, a Fortune 100 company in Glen Allen. So I actually spent a summer in Petersburg, Virginia, where our college is located. So I know a lot of times people kind of run home and then you're back to normal life over the summer. So I had a summer where I actually was here in Petersburg, and I said, man, we're doing so much work on campus. What about the actual community here? This area is a, you know, distressed area overall, from a, you know, food desert to the property values as well as the aesthetic when you're driving through this area. And I just was praying and trying to figure out how can I bring value to the walls outside of Virginia State. So that's what led me to thinking about real estate. Was like, there's so many vacant houses, there are people that look just like me. How can I get in between this business model? So from there, really, there was other African-American real estate, you know, wholesalers, investors on the internet. Shout out to Isaac Grace. I seen his videos on YouTube, and I was watching his YouTube like, wow, he looks like me. He's, you know, he looks young. He's got the swag. Like, this is someone I can, you know, tap in with. So what really started was he had an event in November, and it did cost some money. I saw the video. He had a marketing, and I told my friends, yo, I want to go. They're like, Corey, don't go. It's going to cost money. You don't got your car. My car didn't work. I have a 1999 Toyota Corolla I bought on Jamaica Avenue for $600. $600 car. So that car couldn't even make it to Philly. So I saw the ticket. I was like, you know what? Let me go. Let me get in the room. Let me see what I can learn. I tried to get as much information on YouTube. I went on the bus, went out to Philadelphia, had a friend at Cheney, stayed with her, and then I actually went to the event. And from there, that's when I was able to really sit in the classroom and say, wow, okay, this is the business model that they're talking about with wholesale real estate.
And how old were you then?
So at that point, I was 21.
21. All right, so that's my age right now, 21.
Yeah, I was 21
right,
years
so,
old.
okay, 21, you decided I'm going to go to this networking event, and I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to figure it out. Would you tell, like, 21-year-olds right now, like, when it comes to not making excuses?
Not making excuses. So, 21, in terms of not making excuses, is really about how competitive you are and how much are you really tapped in with yourself that you really want to make your dreams become a reality no matter what, right? Are you someone that's going to focus more on the, negative side or on the positive side? And then deeper than that, actually getting the excuses out instead of just dreaming and wanting this and wanting that, and just being more tapped in with the actual process of what you're doing, right? So in real estate sales, we're constantly making offers. We're doing different marketing campaigns, right? So the no excuses part just comes down to, do you want to prove to yourself that you are who you say you are, or that you can do it, and that you're going to, like I said, put in the actionable steps and fall in love with the process of it and being at bat more than everyone else than the end goal that you have in your mind. That's
a fact. So let me ask you this, right? You went to the event. That's your junior year of college. You're 21 years old. Do you remember how much that event cost?
I think the event, I want to say, was about like either $179 or like $300. It was one of those two.
All right. So let's say the event was $300, right? Because you had to get the ticket. You had to get the ticket to the bus, right?
Eat
food, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's say that whole weekend you probably spent around $500. Right? $500. That's a $500 investment right there. How much money were you able to make from going to that event? Not like directly like, oh, I went to the event and I got $1,000 the next day. No, like that experience, right? Because you closed on your first deal
about 3 months later.
3 months later. So walk us through that process, that transition. Like you went to the event, what gyms you got, and then how were you able to translate that gym to make some money?
Okay, nice. Great question. So from a direct correlation, so let's say that event happened in November of 18. I closed my first deal February 11th, 2019. So my first year, just from that one event, I think I did 15 deals for like $79,000 that year in gross closed deals as a college student. So you're talking about
you made $79,000 as a college student. That's less than people's yearly salary.
Yeah, right here in Petersburg, Virginia. So what that looked like was actually sitting in that room. One, like we say, it's so powerful being around people that look like you, that are doing it and that are prospering. So Isaac Grace really at that point, he gave a full breakdown of the marketing strategies, the main KPIs that you need to be tracking.
What's a KPI?
Your key performance indicators on how much data you need to pull out to get a deal, the different type of marketing streams, the different websites that you're going to need to be able to get this data, what a kind of an offer script look like, doing your mathematical calculations to make sure that the house that you're making an offer on makes sense so you can make another $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in between. So he really gave the mathematics behind it. And how really
the how-to, the how-to, right? So $500 investment basically translated into almost $80,000.
Yes, sir.
As a college student, in your senior year of college.
Yeah.
How were you feeling at that moment on campus? Like, how were you moving? Let me ask you that. How are you moving? Because you making $80,000, your peers not making that.
Right.
So how were you moving and feeling?
So, I mean, to be honest, it was crazy. When I started making that money and I started seeing my savings really jump, something in my mind, I don't know if I knew COVID was coming or if I knew how serious life was when you get out of college. Like, I knew deep down that it would cost you on average, just, financial literacy, maybe $4,000 to $6,000 a month if you're going to plan on living on your own, $1,000 rent, maybe $1,000 car, maybe $1,000 in food, maybe $1,000 in clothes, maybe, whatever you're into. So at that point, I really wasn't felt like I made it or anything like that. I felt like, wow, I really need to make sure that by May 2020, that there's enough money in my savings that I can live off this by myself, whether it's Virginia, DC, New York, that I can live on my own, have a decent car, and have enough marketing really to keep running my business. So my mindset wasn't, I'm lit now. It was like, I have this money now. I need to really get educated even more and be able to put it back into the business to get the marketing continuously going. So I even spent a semester homeless. Even like in that time period, I slept like a Moor on the couch for a whole semester because I got denied financial aid to be able to live on campus my senior year. So I had maybe 30 grand, but I was still like, this is not enough. Like I need at least, my goal was like $60,000 to $70,000 by the time I graduated. So I'd have that enough to be able to work with that for a year or two.
$60,000 to $70,000 by graduation. I don't know nobody else who was doing that.
Yeah.
So were you trying to put your mans on?
That's a great question, right? Was I trying to put my mans on? Yes, I called a lot of them, told a lot of them about it. I mean, I remember even my first deal that I was working, when you tell your friends, you tell your cousins, hey, I want to do this financial literacy. I want to do this real estate. Oh, Corey, it's a scam. It's not real. Show me $5,000 if it's real, especially coming up.
Like they want to see the bread. And it's like, I'm trying to tell you what we doing to get the bread.
Right, exactly. No, it's a scam. You need to focus on school. I had multiple cousins like that. So I did try to put a lot of my friends on. That's what even led me to getting into coaching for a little bit, education, teaching and coaching students on campus how to close deals. I have multiple students from Hampton University, Virginia State. I've taught my line brothers. They've closed deals in Detroit, all across the country on closing real estate deals. But yeah, did I try to help my mans out? Yes. And I did work open to a community to help my community as well.
So let me ask you this. How many of them do you think really listened? Or if any?
I don't think any really listened.
Okay, where are those people today?
Where are they today? Doing exactly what they want to do. I think, I don't think or look at anybody else as like what they want to do. You're going to do what you want to do in this life, in my opinion, or you're going to put in the work of what you want to do and what you want to become. So they're all doing, in my opinion, what they want to do the best they can.
So, but do you think that like, if they were able to, cause I be trying to tell people like, I feel like sometimes people want to see the results when it's just like, we have to do the work to get to the results. So I'm trying to give you the process and we're going to go through this process together. And it may not happen in 1 month. It may take 5 years, not like to see results, but to get that long-term growth, 10 years, whatever, right? Because you've been doing this for about like 5 years now,
5 years, yeah.
Right? And if you think about it, if you had 3 solid men that was with you 5 years and y'all was doing it together, y'all would have been up together. That's why I try to put in perspective for people. Sure. Like, yo, I'm trying to put you on and you can do what you want to do, right? But I'm trying to also show you like this is another way that you can just make lucrative money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So to answer that question, I mean, I think all my friends would have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their bank account right now and probably would not be stressing or even having the conversations that we have to this day still, compared to the conversations with people that have been doing the business for years. So, and people will come back around later and try to get on once they see that you're doing successful with it. But it's harder because now I have a lot more on my workload and I can't always.
The time is limited.
The time is getting limited now. So, but I think the biggest thing, with them as well is to always be trying to reach back to people as well as reaching up to mentors and trying to handle that balance of in between. But as you grow, as you got to be with people that are growing as well. You have to be. So yeah.
And I also think like too, when we first start something, we want to put our mans on who are directly close to us, next to us.
Sure.
But as we grow, our mans kind of like change as well. So now it's like I'm networking with the people that's at the events I'm with. I'm not with my everyday college friend or whatnot, right? So now that relationship that we had, we still have it. We still locked in, but now it's on a different level. You're my friend for when I just need a friend, no work, non-work related, non-business related, right? But then I try to put you,
that's our life now.
And I try to put you on before, but you weren't with it. No judgment there, cool. Right. But just know, like 5 years, 10 years down the line, I'm up millions when you could have been up millions when I first told you. So it's like we have to stop like thinking that like when our mans put us on to something that like we don't got to put the work in and then or we got to wait till we see the results. Like they got to be the test dummy
or be spoon fed all the information as well. Cause that's one thing I've struggled with where it's like, okay, we're still talking about the same thing that we talked about 9 months ago with the process where it's like everyone that else that I've been to continue growing with is like now our conversations have grown. Now we're talking about different systems of process. We're talking about different marketing campaigns. We're talking about different strategies. So it's very stressful and it's very hard, to try to bring everybody with you because, again, you love them, man. These are people that you truly love and you want to see the best out of. But like you said, what I think has helped change that is, like you said, becoming friends with these people that are in the events and treating them like you're their friends. Like you looking to hang out with them over the summer. You're looking to go to their family wedding events and things of that nature, where this is someone that you can count on and they understand whether it's just business, personal life, because now we are kind of like a soul tribe in a sense, energy tribe where, we're all truly going down the same path and we all want to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's a fact. So before we get into like the breakdown of wholesale and real estate and things like that, I want to also talk about like the aspect of college, of just being a young man in college, right? Like what did that look like, right? Being a young man who was very goal driven, had a lot of goals. Were there any distractions that you feel like could have distracted you, or did you get distracted, or were you just so tunnel vision, and how did you develop that? Like,
Right. Yeah, I would say, of course, you're here at Virginia State, one of the most beautiful campus, in the state, from the people to the opportunity. So the distractions are definitely there, from everything that you can get your hands into, right? Whether it's drugs, whether it's selling drugs, or, if you're ambitious, if you're an entrepreneur. I know a lot of us have a friend or a family member that, has money turning over in some kind of way that we try to get into. So that's always a distraction. Of course, beautiful women as well, right? Could be a distraction as a young man, the wrong woman, or chasing women, or even going through heartbreaks on campus where that may stagnate you for 3-4 months because you could care less about doing a deal. So a lot of distractions at Virginia State. But again, that's life, right? It really prepares you for what's to come of next when you leave. So I think overall I was tunnel vision. I definitely remember saying no to a lot of things as well, like, maybe not being on the step team that year, or maybe not, being at every party. Of course, I still had my fun, but I think what kept that tunnel vision was truly knowing that when this is over, there is no going home. You could go home, but like, as a man, especially for the men out there, you don't want to go home. You want to be your own man. You want to have your own little spot, have a nice car, have food in the fridge, and be working. So that mindset alone just kept the tunnel vision. And like I said earlier, knowing like for us entrepreneurs, getting a job is a loss. Like Damon Dash, where it's like, do I really want another man to be my boss? No. So I'm going to have to put in that time.
That 105.1 interview.
Yeah, that changed my life. Changed my life.
So what advice would you give to the young men out there who may be in college right now or just graduated college?
Nice. So all the young men that are out there in college or graduating college, I know we all hear it as we grow, is that right? Time waits for no man. I think the biggest thing that I could really share is to find your niche. And your niche is your niche. That's your thing. Just like you love the video game, or you love, it's in a grown adult conversation, right? Where people love spending money irresponsibly, how that becomes their thing, right? Or sneakers or clothes or whatever. Like whatever you looking to do to really take care of yourself and get yourself in a good financial position, that needs to be your thing. Like that's your thing. Like no one else loves what you love as much as you love it, in the sense of like how you feel within your craft. So I think really getting in your garden of work and loving the process in which you're in, right? The results don't matter anymore. Like I know it's very hard, especially when you don't have the money yet. The money's not in the account yet, but money is an energy, right? Financial literacy is an energy. So being completely process driven, I think would be the biggest thing, as well as, again, just starting to think about how things are going in your day and reversing them into a good day, right? So at the end of the day, if I was young at 21 again, let's say I had a lead today, oh, the deal didn't go well, the numbers are off. Thinking back, okay, deals are always working out for me. And, also doing some subconscious work to really bring out of what are these financial lows that you feel, or your dad might have struggled, or your mom might have struggled, your grandparents, you've always seen struggles always coming, because then it's going to show up. Yeah, financial trauma is going to come back. Oh, there it is. I knew we wasn't going to make it. I knew that it's never enough. So doing that deep work as young as possible to get that toxic financial mess out of you, I think is very important.
That's a fact. What's good, y'all? Are y'all having a hard time starting conversations in large rooms? Do you need to find more effective ways to draw attention to yourself without wearing a fancy outfit? I figured out a hack. You need some Financial Revolutionn merch. Everything is a staple piece that represents Black wealth. You are what you wear, so make sure you join the rest of the billionaires and get some FR merch. We have hoodies, sweatsuits, t-shirts, and much more. Make sure you visit www.financialrevolutionn.com and use code podcast for a special 10% off. Again, go to www.financialrevolutionn.com and use code podcast for a special 10% off. Let's get it, y'all. All right, yeah, so that's a fact. Right, so tell me your wildest college story. Share your wildest. The Young and Dumb show, so you gotta get spicy. What's like a wild college story you got? Come on. Yeah, I know you got a couple. I know you got some. Like, this is VSU, man.
Nah, this is definitely VSU, man. I think some of the wildest stories, man. Is this like PG rated? I don't even know how I could talk on here.
Say what you gotta say.
Man, I mean, some of the wildest stories, man, I would just say, and it's nothing to be happy about. It's nothing to be proud of. You know, it's literally just being dumb. I would say in the sense of just getting it, just doing a lot, right? In a certain amount of days or weeks, right? It was a lot of dumb competitions that we would have as young men on campus in terms of who can, you know, get to know as many girls as possible. So just doing a lot at one time or just that whole mess was the young and dumb. I would say nothing really dumb financially that I did at that time. I mean, honestly, I was very strict on that money. I really didn't go much place. I did a little trip, but really not buying clothes was something I really did not get into.
Were you spending money on girls, on women?
Not really.
So do you feel like in college is like, you know how people like in college men are broke or blah blah, but girls like want them to move a certain way? How do you feel about that whole concept?
So that is very true, and as we know, women do mature faster. So, you know, if you're dating a 20-year-old, 21-year-old girl in college, I mean, she has the options to go date a 26, 27-year-old man that's been working for probably 8 years, especially if you didn't go to college. So right. I understand the perspective of that side. But yeah, as a man, and that's why I tell a lot of my younger brothers as well, if they have a great girl in college, like, you may want to truly spend your time with her and your life with her, because this is someone that really knows you for you and fell in love with you for you, and not all the extra stuff that comes on play when you get out of college in terms of your financials, your looks, where you live at, what kind of money you're making. So I do believe that, of course, a man should definitely, you know, take care of his girl and give her the best experiences that he can. But you're right, he may not be able to do that, truly do that, because you're not a full-time working professional.
Yeah. Do you feel like women are distractions? Like, as you're on this journey, he didn't know I was going to ask these questions.
Yeah, I didn't.
We flowing. It's off the top of my head. But do you feel like, because you're young, I feel like this is great because you're young.
Right.
You're successful. You're also reaching higher levels. So there's a lot of young men out here like that. Right. So do you feel like women are distractions as you're on this route? Like,
right. So, really, really good question. You know, and just to be transparent, I mean, I've went through that as well, right? I even took a break from dating for about 1.5 years now. So it's like my first time in life being like truly like alone, in a sense. But I would say that the wrong woman, of course, is a horrible distraction from, you know, you having to stop your business to go hang out with them, stop your business to spend quality time with them, which is what they deserve, but you may not be ready to do that. Going on trips, you know, buying her stuff, even just the emotional, you know, things that up and downs of a relationship that you're going to deal with can be fully a distraction. I've seen some of the greatest men downfall has been a woman, from the Bible to the Quran to politics to business, is the downfall of a woman and not being able to control yourself. So women, the wrong woman can 100% be the worst distraction and the downfall. I believe a good woman, which is hard to find in some places, right, but could actually be your greatest asset as well, could be your rock to bring out the best out of you and help you and cultivate you into the man that you want to become, and you guys doing that together. So, but again, a man has to be ready and have that maturity and development to say, you know what, I'm going to do right by this woman. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to know all the different moving parts of staying in their masculine frame with a woman as well, to be that leader and to really do what they say that you're going to do. That's through thick and thin, be a rock as a man as well with a woman. So
how do you feel about 50-50?
How do I feel about 50-50? Wow. So honestly, I mean, I've had 50-50 kind of situations before when I was a lot younger, and I felt like it was fine. But again, you know, as you know, develop and mature and get older, you know, you would want to, you know, do more, right?
Yeah.
Your goal would be, I want to do 70-30.
Yeah.
I want to have her, live a soft life. But as well, for me, it's about her having a passion. Like, I want her to be passionate about something.
Yeah.
Right? I know some women I talk to, they're like, oh, I want a soft life and I just want to go to the beach and hang out and just do nothing because, you make the money and I cook and clean. But at the same time, that can be, you could pay a chef, you can pay someone to cook and clean. That's not really that valuable.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I don't believe in 50-50, but if there's a time where it needs to be 50-50 and we're putting a lot of money into buildings and we're putting a lot of money into these different opportunities, and maybe at a time where I may need your help to come in, but overall the goal should be that it's not 50-50, maybe 70-30 or even 100-0, but whatever makes sense in that situation.
That's a fact. But just had to give the people what they want. You feel me?
But let's get
to this game.
We love women. We love everybody. So,
of course.
like I would say, just the last thing on that topic is, again, you'll know when it's the right one. And I'll say, if you have a good woman in your life and you're an aspiring business owner, like, make sure that she's very positive with the things that you want to do. Make sure that she is a true cheerleader for what you're doing and not a hater, right? Because men, you guys could be young and you may have the looks, you may have the smarts, you're a winner, if you put your mind, you can win. So make sure that the partner that you have, you guys are playing the same game, and the rules aren't being changed in the relationship. So that's a big thing. Make sure your girlfriend is not a secret hater, and make sure that she understands the vision that you have and is there to cultivate that within you.
Word. That's a fact. So let's get to the real estate gems, right? So what type of real estate do you do?
Nice. Great question. So we do off-market wholesale real estate, right?
What does that mean? I don't know. None of that mean.
Okay,
what does that
great.
mean?
So that means that we work direct to seller, right? And what we do is we assign contracts over to end buyers. So you have one document.
Corey, we don't know what that means.
Oh, you're right. So,
like, give us an example.
Okay.
Walk through this process.
So the process.
I own a house. What happens?
So you own a house. Let's say Aaliyah has a vacant property or a tenant-occupied property in Petersburg,
What's a
Virginia.
vacant property?
So a vacant property is a house with nobody
in it.
Occupied, living in the property,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she owns the property. Hey, I give her a call. Hey, how you doing, Aaliyah? My name is Corey Vickers. I work for VA Home Offer. I was giving you a call about your property. I was seeing if you were interested in possibly getting an offer on it. I'm going to try to work to get the timeline, right, of when she would be interested in selling. Is this something that she want to sell in March or at the end of the year? I'm going to find out a little bit about the motivation, right, of outside of just the price. Why are you looking to sell your property? As well as, of course, the price, the condition of the property as well. Be able to get some of this information from you to understand where you're at. Be able to give you an as-is cash offer. Not that I'm buying the house, but we come to an agreement on a single page paper. It's in second grade English. It's very easy to understand. And we'll walk through all the agreements that we're going to come to. I'm just going to buy your house for $50,000, but I do the math and the ARV, the after repair value, right? And I do 0.75 of that to give myself a little bit of margin, right? Just buying, like, let's say you don't want to buy a pair of sneakers for full price. You want to have some margin there. And then you minus your repairs in that property as well, based on the square footage. And then that's the offer that you would give them, and you would give your margin as well. So, or some people from a simpler, just say, what is the as-is value? If other houses in your property's condition in Petersburg sells for $50,000, all right, I'm gonna minus $10,000 to that, or $15,000, and I'm gonna give you an offer for $35,000, and then sell it for $50,000. So we make money being a middleman in a transaction between a property owner such as yourself, me as the middleman, and I sell it to an end buyer who's like a landlord or a fix and flipper like you guys see on TV.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. So we make offers all day long. We talk on the phones, make offers, and then sell in between. And we don't have to actually buy the property. We're able to assign our contract rights over and make the money in between. So we've done deals from $33,500, $21,000 deals. We've done months, $96,000 in 1 month. $58,000, $77,000. Of course, it's ups and downs, right? If you don't stop marketing, you continue doing what got you that success. Next month you can make $5,000. Next month you could not even close a deal, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you a story where that's every single month, but depending on the type of work that you put in, the process you put in place. So was that a good explanation of the business?
It was a great explanation. I'm gonna just break it down. So you do wholesaling real estate, right? And basically what you do is so let's say you reach out to somebody who owns a property that may not be in its best condition or whatever, right? Like deemed like vulnerable, right? And you'll reach out to that person. You'll put an offer for that house for, let's say, for $10,000. In return, you'll go sell that house to somebody else for $15,000, and you collect that $5,000 profit.
Right. So we sell the contract rights.
Oh no, you sell the contract right. So you never really buy the house.
Right.
you sell the contract rights.
Right.
How come the end buyer doesn't just go get the house for, like, how do you protect yourself to make sure that the end buyer doesn't just go get the house for that original offer?
Nice. So the way that you do that is you have a contract now. So you have a legal binding agreement that you have fiduciary responsibility, basically that you are the middleman in this transaction, that you're actually buying the home. So he can't go directly to the seller because you already have the agreement that they've agreed.
But what if they never sign the agreement?
So that I wouldn't market to the buyer unless I have the agreement with the seller. So now I have a document that says, Aaliyah, you're selling me this property for X amount at this address at this closing title company. So I have the rights to buy your property, and I could file like a memorandum with the county that clouds the title. So then that end buyer can't go back around my back.
So that's where the liability, the protection is.
Right. And a lot of these buyers, they want to do business. They're not in the business of trying to go behind you. They're in the business of keep feeding me business so I can build out more rentals or build out more flips.
Yeah, but I guess my thing is like, what if I want to get something for a cheaper price, why not just keep going? Why go to the source, like, and cut off the middleman? Right? Is it the contract that saves you?
Yeah, the
right?
contract saves you, and then just that business model, right? Not everybody in all business can do every single part of the business. So
Okay.
I may specialize in marketing and sales and, getting
the
after
hard
it
part
and
that they
being
don't
on
wanna
the
do.
phones. And, the hard
Yeah.
part they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Negotiating, caring, talking to the seller, spending money on marketing. Some people say, yo, bring me the deal. The numbers make sense. I'm going to make X, Y, Z after I fix it. Let's go. I can't. I can, but they may not want to get in the business of running marketing campaign, driving for dollars, pulling out data, getting phone numbers, skip tracing, and talking all day. They may want to say, I'm going to raise the money and fix the house. Corey, bring me the deal.
So on average, like on a monthly average, it don't have to just be you, but how much money can you potentially make doing wholesale real estate?
So I would say, of course, it depends on how big your team is, right? If you it's two.
And what's the team like?
So like your employees. So throughout the whole process, I always have virtual assistants, whether in the Philippines, Costa Rica, Mexico, India as well. So I would say, to be very transparent, there's two different lifestyles in this industry, guys. There's a lifestyle of the virtual digital nomad lifestyle where you have a bunch of virtual callers. They're calling the data. So you would pull out the data of homeowners, tired landlords, old owners that don't live in the home, absentee owner data, and you would call it, or you would text it, or you would send mail to it, or you would do Google ads to it, or run PPC. There's all different marketing that you guys could do research on what that is. But let's say you average maybe 2 to 3 deals a month. I would say you probably do about $20,000 a month. If you're a guy that's able to push out 7 to 10, then that's when you get to 6 figures a month.
All right, let's go. So let's give some sauce. So you remember how you went to Isaac Grace event, right? You got the sauce and you was able to get started. Give the people the blueprint.
Okay.
Right?
Nice. So the blueprint really is
and break it down.
I'll break it down.
Yes.
I'll break it down. So I would say the biggest game that I could give in terms of you need to be really locked in on these 4 or 5 metrics. One, when you get into this business is really staying on top of your talk time, right? Like how many hours a day are you actually talking to sellers, right? If you're going to get into the nitty gritty, this is the foundation of real estate. This is where you are in control because, like we talked about, you can actually start buying rentals. You can start doing flips as well, and you get it at cost. But the biggest thing I can talk to you guys about is your KPIs. One, right? You want to do at least 2 to 3 hours of talk time, right? Every single day. Key performance indicator. One is that you're calling for 2 to 3 hours a day, that you're making.
These are different people that you're
different
calling.
people, different
like
sellers.
From the list.
Okay. Right? Or that come back from texting. If there's 6, 7 people that week that said, hey, I want an offer, you call them and you talk to them.
So so we got the call. What am I saying on the call?
Nice. So on the call, you'll have really a sales script. I think that's been the big game changer for me the last 3 years is having a sales script. Some people love to just flow and kind of talk about, hey, how you doing? Talk about the timeline, the condition, the motivation, and, basically get all that information.
So if I was a seller, what would you say to me right now?
So if you were a seller, we actually have a script as well. So I would, basically start off, like I said, how you doing? And then first I would give you my contact information so you don't lose my phone number. Then I would get into a little bit of the really outside, why you want to sell your property.
So like let's
okay, we're role play. Okay,
all
sweet.
Right, let's do a call. All right, so call me.
Okay. Hello, Aaliyah, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. This is Corey Vickers. Did I catch you at a good time? I do respect your time.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, my name is Corey Vickers. I was actually reaching out about your property. I was seeing if you were interested in possibly selling your property.
Yeah, I was looking into it, but I just been pretty busy, so I didn't really know where to start.
Okay. No, I understand, man. It's definitely been busy lately. So I actually work for a local company. So we actually buy properties to fix them and sell them, or we buy properties to fix them and hold them. Do you think your property would be a good fit for something like that?
I think so. We were looking to sell, and we were looking to support a local company.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So some of the benefits of working with us, and we are local, which is really good. So you maybe shake someone's hand on my team as well. But we do work virtually. But some of the benefits of working with us is that we do buy the property as is. So you don't have to fix the property at all. You know, you don't have to fix the roof or the bathroom, the kitchen. There's also no realtor fees involved as well. So that's 6% you actually don't have to pay for. Again, there's no closing costs. So there's no closing costs involved as well, which is really good. Now, in a perfect world, you know, do you have a ballpark on how much you were kind of looking to walk away with?
Like maybe about $100,000, $100,000.
Okay, about 100,000. Okay, understood. And in terms of the situation, is this property rented out? Is it tenants? Do you live in there?
I currently don't have anyone living there. No.
Okay, nice. So the property's vacant. We always like to say if the property's vacant, it's easier to show, it's easier to sell, which is really good. And like you said, you want 100,000. Okay, well, instead of kind of walking inside the house for a second, can you tell me a little bit about the outside of the property? Like, is there anything wrong with the structure of the home outside?
No, it's just, old. It's been here for years. This used to actually be my mom's house, and then she passed it.
Nice.
She passed it down to me.
Nice.
And
Generational wealth.
I live somewhere else now, and
Sweet.
so it's just there. And I did want to sell it, just to generate some level of payment or income from it and get it out my hands.
Okay, nice. And now, is this neighborhood, is it more renters in this area or more owner occupied?
It's more owner occupied.
Okay, so nice, owner occupied. Now, is there any speed limits in the front, or is it on the main road, or anything like that you can share that you may like about this neighborhood? Anything special?
I think the neighborhood is quiet. All the neighbors know each other. Very community-based neighborhood. We have local stores nearby.
Okay, nice. Everything you're telling me, I'm writing it down. It goes to my underwriters so they can kind of get you an offer. Now, really quickly, kind of walk me inside the property. Now, I know you said you don't live around town, but the inside of the house, is it still in the year of the house? Like, is it still in this 90s, 2000s condition?
Yeah, it's just about, I haven't done any new renovations or anything like that.
Okay, awesome. And what are the floors like in the property?
Just old wood floors. They're pretty sturdy, still fine, but definitely probably need some work if somebody wants to resell it.
Okay, nice. What about the kitchens and the bathrooms?
The kitchens and the bathrooms, they work. It's basic. It's basic. Nothing new, but it works.
Okay, nice. And it's a little outdated?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay, you say it's outdated as well. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm actually writing all this information down, like I said earlier, and it's actually going to our underwriters so we can get you an offer. Now, is there anything else inside the property that we should know that may need to be updated, or anything that you've personally updated, or?
No, I would just say definitely like the kitchen and the bathroom. If someone is looking to resell or rent this property, I would probably need some work. Okay. Probably a little electrical work. Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Now, our average close time is about 30 business days or less. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. I was looking around the same.
Around that time? Okay. Awesome. Now, are you looking to leave any personal belongings in the property?
I don't really have much there because I don't live there, but my mom did leave like a couch and stuff like that, which you guys can keep, throw away. It's up to your choice. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Well, like I said, thank you for everything that you shared with me. Now, I'm actually going to get this information to my underwriters now. So what we do is we put them on a quick hold, right? So just like if you're on hold with the grocery store, the doctors, someone puts you on hold, that means you really want to sell. So I put you on hold for a second to really test your motivation. Like if Aaliyah says, yeah, I'll stay on hold for a second. Okay, I got someone that has a vacant home. She doesn't live there. She doesn't have any emotional attachments. Her mom gave it to her. It needs updating. She knows a price. She wants 100,000. Bang. So I come off hold. Then I would say I would go into, I know we're on a limited time, but then I would go into the age of the hot water heater. What's the age of the roof? What's the age of the electrical, plumbing, HVAC? Really over the phone, a lot of the business is virtual. So we understand the age and the condition of the property. We don't even have to go look at the property. I would say the virtual sales model is the best model because you don't actually have to physically go see the property. Now, when I ask about the inside, then I would ask again, like, is there anything else that you still need to figure out? Right? She may say, hey, no, Corey, I don't need to figure anything out. Right? Then I will go into, I know it's a kind of a process, but then you would, kind of, again, tell them the process. Hey, we're going to sign a 2-page agreement. After the agreement, I'm going to send someone on my team to go out there and take photos of the property. Well, Corey, how you going to do that without seeing it? Well, if you're very honest with me about the condition, then it should match. If there's anything that comes up on our inspection period, we're going to have an open, honest, transparent conversation about it and move forward from there. And then our title company will start a title search, and then we'll get to closing. It's really that simple. So then put them on hold one more time, come back, give them the benefits again, and then we give them an offer.
If the client doesn't agree with the offer, what's your model of like getting them to agree? Is it just like a stop playing? You playing around too much. Like, you want to do something, you want to make the money, you want to build wealth because it look cool, but you're not serious because you know what I got, and I got something for you. The Blueprint for Investing, Volume 1, created by me, Aaliyah Duah. It gives you a step-by-step guide on how to get started investing in the stock market. See, if you want to really build wealth, you got to put your money into things that's going to work for you, right? Because the job money cool, but you want to make the money work too, right? So it's going to give you a step-by-step guide, investing tools, the apps to use, everything. And the best part is, I know you don't like to read, so I only made it 28 pages. That's it, right? 28 pages, and you getting yourself some wealth of knowledge. So make sure y'all tune in, get your copy today, and go to financialrevolutionn.com. Let's get it, y'all. Back to the episode.
So let's say we say, hey, I could do 30,000. You say, Corey, that doesn't work. Well, I totally understand. Now, this is what the underwriters have authorized me to spend, Aaliyah. Now, before I go back to them and let them know that you're not coming off that $100,000, where do you need to be at price-wise to be happy, right? And then you would ask, is that the best that you think you can do? Okay, now, if I'm able to get you that number today, are you ready to move forward today on this purchase sale agreement?
This is like buying a car. Like, how they get you. Yeah, this is like, yeah, wow. So, and that's the process, the whole process.
That's the process. So then they say, hey, Corey, look, I can do this number. And then you kind of work your numbers and see if you can make it sense. And then you take them, hey, okay, great. Well, I'm going to send you over this purchase sale agreement. You go over the agreement with them. You answer all the questions with them. Right now, you don't want to just be sending out contracts thinking they're going to sign it. Or if you do FedEx it to them, right, virtually, make sure, hey, we set a time Saturday at 1 o'clock. We're going to read this agreement with you and have you click on DocuSign and sign and get it ratified.
So how do you get people to trust you even though they never met you? They never seen you in person. This is like over the phone. And I'm pretty sure they've been called multiple times by other companies. So how do you gain that trust from them?
So I think the biggest thing that gains that trust is truly finding common ground in that sales process. I know a lot of people in sales just say build, rapport, but even the small things that we talked about, from you living somewhere else, maybe me asking questions about that, but all the questions need to line up with me getting you to the end goal of wanting to do business with me. And I think having an actual sales process, anyone that's doing sales, having a particular script or flow will give them that trust in you, because they know, okay, this guy doesn't sound like these other people that are talking to me over the phone in different countries or in America, where it's like, okay, all right, you want 100? All right, I'll see what I can do. Let me, like, you having a legitimate sales process is what builds trust. And at the end of the day, in sales and negotiation, they have to like you, trust you, respect you, want to do business with you. And then negotiation is two people that have that out the way and being able to come to some type of agreement on that number, and you educating your seller as well on what's selling in the area, educating them on this needs to be done on the property. Like, this work needs to get done. Everything is outdated. Your property's X amount of square feet. It's going to cost around $60,000 to $80,000 to fix it. Houses in the home sell for X amount.
So. Wow, that makes sense. Right. So what's the quickest time frame you ever closed the deal?
So the quickest time frame was probably maybe 2 weeks back in the day. Now it's like 3 weeks.
Okay. So, all right. So I love this. So you explained the first part. So now, how do you now find the buyer?
Great
so you
question.
got the seller, you did that process, and we closed. That was a great. Now let's do the role play as if like I was a buyer.
Okay,
right.
Nice.
Now, like what's the next step after you get the seller to do the contract?
Okay, great. So now your seller signed. They want to do business with you. You get the contract signed. You send over a CC email to your title company, and you tell them, hey, this is a new seller. What's the
title company?
So a title company is the person that is actually going to give you the money from the sale of the property. So you can work with a title company or attorney. It just depends on the state that you're in.
So they give you the money to buy the property?
No. So they handle the escrow process of distributing the funds and
making
moving
sure
the deed work over
correctly.
Yeah, so I would take your agreement, me and Lee agree to, and I would send it to, let's say we're here in Petersburg. We work with like Danko's, Gordon, and Tucker. So we would have an email. We'll send the purchase sale agreement at $50,000 to Danko's and Gordon. Now the sellers, okay, these guys are legit. Like, they sent my email, they sent the agreement to an attorney. All right, cool. So on the other side, right? And it's crazy because I remember when I was on campus and closed my first deal was $3,000, and I spent literally a whole month working a job for not even 15. It was $1,000 every 2 weeks. I'm like, yo, this was almost a month and a half of work for one post on Facebook. So I'm gonna say the basic way we did it back in the day was we would just just post it on Facebook, get the photos, tell the price you want, put it on Facebook, put a lockbox on it, and make sure your buyers get in there. People are gonna blow your phone up. Now the thing is, a good deal is gonna sell itself. You don't have to do much. They're going to tell you 70, 80, 100, whatever number it is. They're going to come back, give you a bunch of offers, right? And you can get it sold. They send you an agreement. They put an earnest money deposit in, and then you wait about a week or two, and then you get your money.
But where are people finding you though? Because I'm a college student. Who do I have on my page that is looking to buy real estate?
So this is when you put it on Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace and Facebook group chats as well. Now, a more advanced way, I know college student, but you can start pulling out the data of cash buyers in your area. So we're in Petersburg. You can pull out for maybe $100 to $200. You can pull out a cash buyers list of property owners in Petersburg and then skip trace the phone numbers and call them like, hey, how you doing? My name is Corey Vickers. We're actually wholesaling right now. Was looking to see, what are you looking to buy this year? Or you call them and say, hey, look, I got a deal I just picked up. Here's the details on it. And you can send it out. So that's a great question, right? A lot of us don't have buyers in our network pool. You can go to free Facebook Marketplace. You can go to Facebook real estate group chats in your area, or you can pull out cash buyer data and reach out to these home buyers as well.
All right. So where do you find the sellers list where like you'll find the vacant homes and the people who are old buyers, and where do you find the cash buyers list?
Nice. So yeah, great question. So there's a lot of different websites. Again, a lot of the data in America is kind of on a lot of different websites. It's about which niche data that you're going after. I know in real estate you always hear people like pre-foreclosure, this, that, and the third, but so websites really good at ListSource.
Listsource.com.
Yeah, listsource.com, propstream.com, batchleads.com. You can also go to like Lead Cruncher. They say for every 10,000 records that you pull out, you should be able to get at least 10 leads. And out of those 10 leads, you should be able to convert at least 1 or 2.
So how many calls is that a day?
So what we do is, and I've always done this, I've always had a cold caller in the Philippines for $4 an hour, make cold calls. So I don't cold call, I call sellers that already have verified owners and verify some interest of wanting to sell. So
okay.
Maybe like 50 to 100 calls a day.
That's okay. That's gems right there. Where do you find these Philippine people, and how do you pay them $4 an hour? What does that process look like?
Nice. So you can go to like someone has just asked me about it. I haven't used it in a while, but like Fiverr. You can go to findfilipinoworkers.com. You have a lot of different Facebook chats now for Filipino, different countries where they offering cold call services. You also have cold call companies. I started working with Eric Klein cold callers as well, where you could pay for his services. They do that, and now you have a worksheet, and they just send you leads.
But how do you know, like, what are you telling them? How do you know that they're actually doing the calls? They're sending you legit leads. Like, what's the metrics there?
Nice. So the metrics there is, again, the same metrics that we have from the amount of calls they make, listening to their calls as well.
Oh, you can listen.
You can listen to their calls on websites like Call Tools, different softwares that they make the calls on. You'll get a recording of all the calls they make, and you can listen to it, train on them, and train them on your sales process. So they're actually going in there, getting the motivation, getting the timeline condition. You'll hear me talk about that a lot.
And they speak American?
Yeah, they speak English for sure.
I said American.
And they've been doing it for years.
I'm tired.
Nah,
I
you're
said
good.
American.
It's a long weekend. And they've been doing it for years, guys. Like, if you guys are in this under 27 years old, these people probably been doing this for more than 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
Like, there's been people that have been working in sales for 10, 20 years in other countries.
Okay. All right. So I love that. That was a great breakdown of the process.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, what are some of the biggest things that you learned so far that have taken your business from, like, college student? I was making $80,000 in college. I can only imagine how much you're making now. Like, how did you grow?
So I would say the ability to let go of your business and I don't want to say just invest more in the business, but actually be more dialed in on your KPIs, being more dialed in on your metrics that works for you. All right, every strategy in real estate works. You'll have guys crushing it doing direct mail. You have guys crushing it doing PPC, pay-per-click. You'll have guys crushing it doing cold calling. Every single marketing strategy works, but it's about which one that you're going to choose, and just investing more money into it, right? As you make more money, being able to put that money back into the business, right? So being able to get more cold callers or more texting or more, direct mail campaigns. And I believe that not being stuck on just one strategy, like you could wholesale, but also be open to doing some novations or doing some flips or buying and holding some rentals. And then, of course, the biggest thing is mentorship as well. I just invested in like a $12,000 mentorship in December with a person that was making probably $3 to $5 million a year consistently. And I was like, you know what? I want to step up to the next level. I don't want to spend another 2-3 years trying to figure it out. Those days of trying to figure it out are over. You're going to always be trying to figure it out, but let me get with someone that's been doing it for longer and save money. Me investing and going to the Philly event saved me money. I know what they're going to make. That saved me a lot of money.
I wonder what your life would be like if you didn't go to that event.
Yo, if I didn't go to that, I would be working a corporate job,
Wow.
Like
one event changed your whole entire life.
Yeah, one event truly did it. And we're working on having an event in my hometown, New York, as well to pass it forward. But the biggest thing I learned, again, is the mentorship part, and then the people around you, and then that self-work is very important. Entrepreneurship, truly, for you guys, is like they say, like the never-ending self-development journey. You truly have to have that time within yourself to truly figure out what those negative subconscious things are. How big do you really want to dream? Maybe not sharing all your dreams and goals with everyone. Maybe having something that's intimate with you. All glory to God for everything that we've been able to do. But the biggest things is putting your ego to the side, especially as young men as well. We sometimes have big egos, but putting those egos to the side and being able to be taught and walk through that process.
So you have a team, right?
Yeah.
What is your team?
So right now our team is, we have 3 cold callers. We have 1 disposition person that handles selling the deals off. We have 1 follow-up specialist, so she will follow up with the leads and pre-qualify them. And then we have an integrator who handles kind of the back office stuff in terms of like making sure all the websites are working, all the marketing is working. And that's really our team right now.
Okay. And do they all know each other? Like, is it like get on these weekly or monthly calls? Because I know you say you have the people in the Philippines as well.
Yeah, so right now we're actually working in the in-office model here in Virginia.
Okay.
So I have an office with me and 1 other employee right now, but most of our team is virtual. I love the virtual model, but for this year I wanted to try something different. Wake up, go to an office, have people, build these people up around me, and maybe in the future we'll all be virtual working across the world, but I want to have some time with them.
So the reason why I asked you this was like, one, being a young CEO, like you're the boss man.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, how is it telling people what to do? How is it telling people like, hey, like, okay, you didn't do that correctly, you got to switch that up, right? Like, how is it being that person? And anybody on your team older than you?
So actually in the beginning of the year, we had four. I had 4 employees, and everyone in there was actually older than me. One of them might have been younger than me.
How was it getting respect from someone who's older than you and you paying them?
Right. So I think the biggest thing with that is that they truly have to know that you are leading from the front and that you are doing exactly what you say you're gonna do. Period. Like, the CEO talk, it sounds cool, it sounds, nice on social media, but if you're not a man or a woman that's going to do exactly what you're going to say you're going to do the work, lead from the front, and any little small thing that you don't want them to do, like I had people that were coming to work high every day, smoked out every day, not drunk, but high every day. It's a big thing in our culture now, but, and it's always been, but coming to work with that means I can't come to work high now. I can't smoke as much weed or smoke weed at all and come into work because I have people under me or alongside me really that I'm trying to build up. So it's really like you have to become a even better version of yourself to be that person, for them to respect you.
And what's some of the things that you did to become that better version of yourself? Like, what sacrifices you have to make? Like, beyond just the business, like, all right, you learned the business, you learned the game, you understand that. But as a man, what are some of those things that you had to do? So
I think the biggest thing that I had to do recently, and it's been very challenging, and it's a challenge for everybody, is, uncovering those subconscious addictions, and being able to fight those battles and put it to the side. May not be forever, everyone, but maybe there is a time where you don't smoke every day, or maybe there's a time where you don't smoke, or you don't drink, or you don't, do a lot of outside activities with different people, and, put that to the side and really, like we like to say, lock in for the win, but truly go deep and figure out is this really what you want?
Were you a big smoker? Or
So I was at one point, for about 2-3 years.
Okay. Do you still smoke? Or?
So I'm taking like a 4-month hiatus right now.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, since December. So now it's March. Thank you.
How has it been? How's that journey? And what made you put the spliff down? Because I feel like there's a lot of people who would be like, nah, like, it don't do anything to me. I'm still proactive, because you still running your business, right? Still proactive. But what made you feel like you should stop?
So to be honest, again, I think it's to each his own, right? Like, again, some people I know, they smoke weed every day, and that's cool if that works for you. But if you're not hitting your numbers and you're not hitting your goals and you're not where you want to be at, even if you got a little bit of motion, to be honest, my mentor, he was like a crack addict at 28 years old. Wow. And he said he went sober, and that helped him a lot. And I really, like, even from a spiritual level, I wanted to see if my spirituality is real. Like, if it's real, then I should be able to have the power from it to be able to stop doing these things. If I can't, then maybe I should look into something else. So that's what really led me to letting it go. And I really just wanted to have clarity for a little bit, as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, to put it down. I know it's the craziest thing to think of, but just for a season, put it down. Put these subconscious addictions that you have down, because you'll always get calls from your friends telling you, man, Corey, I'm struggling with this. And we're all struggling with something behind closed doors, but man, I just can't let this thing go. It's holding me back. I know I should be, because what happens is life is, to me, I work in 4-year intervals. 12-month year as well is a big gem. That's a great book to read. It helps you kind of, are you familiar with that?
12-month, yeah.
So even in 4 years for my adults, young adults, like, you're entering your year 1, 2 now. I've done my first 4 years almost in May. Yeah. So it's like a high school or the Olympics or, college is 4 years of putting that process and craft in place. So, just looking at that very tapped in. So it's been very challenging for sure, but I have seen strides in my clarity and my focus, and the people that I'm aligning with are now like on the same journey as me. Not saying I'm perfect, not saying I'm clean, not saying you're not going to see me lit at homecoming, but there is a time, especially Q1, man, where you want to just be clean for a little bit. See if you can live a clean lifestyle for once in your life.
That's a fact. And so what are you telling your mans at that time? I'm not sure if you smoke by yourself or like have a sight with your friends.
Right, of course. I love it. Those are some best memories, man.
Yeah, so you may want to stop, but your friends don't want to stop. So how does that work?
Yeah, that's a very, it's hard because you think about it every day, especially when you get into a routine of smoking, drinking, whatever you're doing. So it's like a laugh, right? It's a joke. Okay, we'll see how long this lasts. Or all right, like, but it's like when you stop doing these things, it starts to become your new identity now. And I think like even with my employees that I had, a few of them just was like addicts. So they were not crack addicts, but they were addicted to these things that it was always holding them back. And when I saw that in them, I was like, ooh, I gotta stop that because I don't want that. But in terms of friends, like, it's hard. It's very challenging. I even get anxiety thinking about that moment where I have to say nah to someone I probably smoked with the last 10 years of my life. You're 26. So, but again, sometimes you just got to be strong in yourself and say nah. Like even at the club last night, I had a spliff in my hand. I was like, oh, man, I'm glad you didn't do
it. You didn't do it?
No, I didn't do it. I was like, oh, I got it, right? I appreciate you, right? I had to drink all that. But I was like, you know what? Nah, because what's more important is locking in for the win, right? And having clarity right now. So, yeah, that is uncomfortable with friends.
You,
yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm proud of you. Nah, because I don't smoke. Like, I don't smoke. And I try to tell my peers, like, I don't really care if you smoke, but it's a moment when it is a distraction, right? It's your thing. And it only gets worse the more you keep doing it. Right? So when you decided to do your 4-month journey, was it like a New Year goal or something like that? Or was it like cold turkey, you just stopped? Like, was it,
it was definitely years of trying to stop. And then what happened was the richest man, I would like to say the richest black man in Richmond, he was a developer. He actually owns like the Croker Spa buildings and owns like developments. And he said, Corey, he was like 62 years old. He's from Queens, New York. And he was like, Corey, I'm going to tell you one thing before you leave this office. When I was done working with him, he's like, dude, one thing I can tell you is, Corey, do not be a pothead, bro, because you're going to really need your mind in this business and in life. And I'm going to let you know all my friends that smoked the last 40, 50 years, they're just a little off, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. They're just a little off. So if I could tell you anything, you may just want to chill on it for a little bit and see where it leads you. And then my other mentor was like, Corey, bro, just go cold turkey for 12 months and tell me where you're at the end of 12 months, period. If you really want this $1 million lifestyle, you want to be a 7-figure entrepreneur, like legitimately the IRS knows that you're making 7 figures a year, give it up for a year and see where you're at. When I heard those two things, I was like, okay.
And you probably wouldn't even want it after a minute.
Right.
Right. So you might, well,
maybe you're right. You hope that one day deep down, but you'll grow to that for sure. And even as a man in a relationship with a woman as well, like if you smoke a lot, you're probably gonna attract women that smoke a lot too. So I don't really like my partner to smoke a lot like that. So I would want to start attracting people like myself, or even working environments. You're gonna attract a lot of employees that smoke a lot of weed because you smoke a lot of weed. But if that's your profession, cool. But if not, you want to break free of a lot of these things that are holding you down. It's just a lot of baggage. And it does take your time. I mean, it may not, like, to chill on a Saturday. Oh, I need to get out of this reality for an hour or two. For what? You should make your reality so lit that you love it so much that what do I need to go to Cloud 9 for right now?
That's a fact.
I'm standing on everything that's coming to me. I'm changing into my perspective on it. I'm looking at it differently. Deals are always working out for me. Financial literacy events always working out for me. The people that I'm meeting, the students that I'm meeting, daily affirmations to say, I don't need to go away for 5 hours and be high. I don't need to get away on a Thursday night before I go to bed, or it's so stressful. No, have positive outlets. I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect. I'm not the guy trying to come here and say none of that. But for people that are struggling with addictions like I have, change it with positive outlets, and I'm telling you, you will not be the same, and it will be a journey as well. It'll be a journey.
That's a fact. All right, so we got a couple more minutes.
Let's do it.
Knocking me down.
We got a show tonight.
Yes. But I want to know, right? I heard you tell a story about how, like, you had the best car and you was around people who had more money than you, and this was when you was like 20 or something like that, right? So I just wanted to hear that story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Powerful stuff. Yeah. So, at that time, graduation came around. I got a Dodge Challenger. That was back when, a little baby, everybody was going crazy, 2020. And what happened was I went to my multi-million-dollar mentor, lender, buyer that has over maybe 120 rentals, doing like 10 to maybe like 100 flips a year, single woman, right? And they was at a retreat. She has a massive Airbnb. They're doing $20,000, $30,000 a month. And I actually love sharing this story and want to share the part two too as we head out. They said, Corey, you have the nicest car in this driveway, and you have the least amount of properties in this room.
Wow.
I felt like an ignorant brother at the end of the day. That's how I felt. I felt, wow, I feel so ignorant right now, right? And I felt like it's time to make a change. So what happened was, I went through a breakup. I sold the car before that, though. Then I went to like this pickup truck. The back window was broke. I was driving. It was sand coming in the car. I had another bad car for the next year. So I went through 2 years of bad cars. And yeah, I did buy rentals. Yeah, I built my business. But what I will say is, and I met with my mentors later, and we had that same conversation, and they had a bigger mansion, and they had more cars. And they said, Corey, I apologize for telling you that back then. I'm going to tell you why, because there's certain things and certain materialistic things that don't give you inner confidence, but it gives you a sense of confidence in a sense of like, I'm the person that deserves to drive this and deserves to have this lifestyle, and I can do better, and I'm an entrepreneur that's going to do better. Of course you do it when you're ready and you can financially handle it. But she was like, yeah, because now you're in a lack mindset and you're driving bad cars. You don't feel comfortable. And now you don't really want to go out much because you're like, oh, I still got this bad car. I haven't hit my goals yet. Instead of, if you can afford it, do it. And see what kind of person you become now driving that car. Now my BM, I'm like, yo, I better be the man that can handle this car. And I want a better car than this. But that's something that I will say. It all depends where you're at in your journey. Of course, at that point, I was probably making like $250,000 so I could handle a $30,000 car, right? But I would say for people out there, live within your means, but get something nice if that's your thing. If you want to have something calm that works, you got Bluetooth and it's respectable, and from financial literacy standpoint, it is a representation of somewhat of where you're at financially.
Yeah,
may not be the max, but somewhat of like, okay, she's doing a thing. She's moving good. You got Bluetooth, and compared to you're in a bad car, you're just gonna be in that lack, and everywhere you go, it's like you can't even go as fast as you want on the highway. So
your liabilities kind of turn into assets sometimes.
Sometimes, right? Mentally.
Yeah, and just last point, right? You spoke about, we was talking earlier, and you are a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, right? And you were saying how like some brothers helped you.
That's big,
right? Too. And then some brothers were like, yo, I don't really want to put you on because you're going to become my competition. Speak to both sides of that.
Wow, really great question. And again, I have to give a big shout out to this member, Alpha Alpha. He actually gifted me $5,000 to take a program in March. So when I closed my first deal in February, I took a $5,000 program that next month because I said, how can I make this sustainable now? How can I do this year after year? So to the brothers that did help, that's everything, man. I mean, that was everything to me at that point. It was the gateway into, and again, sometimes everybody just needs a little push. Sometimes you just need someone that believes in you, someone that, sees that in you. But, to the people that didn't believe in me and the people that said, I see you as competition, after spending 2 years doing education, I see that now. Where I'm teaching people in my market, which is love, right? That was the purpose of it. I want them to grow. They have families. They're other African-American men and women. I want them to do deals, but at the same time, now they're doing deals in my same exact market, which was the goal. But now it's like it does become competition in a sense. So I think it's just about picking your lane. Do you want to be an educator? Or do you want to do the business? And if you want to do the business and educate, then educate your employees. Instead of me spending 2 years trying to coach and teach, I should have been teaching my team and my employees. So I would have had a staff of maybe 5 to 10 people, and now I have freedom to do whatever I want and not have to take a lot of calls. So it's a two-edged sword, but at the end of the day, you need people to believe in you, and you need people to not believe in you as well.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, so as we enter into our last segment, this segment is, I just want to ask you guys, it's called the Talk It Ish segment, right? So I just want to ask you, what is something you're really passionate about?
Okay, nice. What am I really, really passionate about? I'm truly, truly passionate, and gets me fired up deep down, is truly the work of the community, the work of the next generation. Really passionate about allowing my gifts inside me that God has given me and bringing it out in the best ability that I can, and helping others bring that out of them as well to walk in their passion. So that's something like I'm so passionate about. And we all have a lot of ideas that we just want to bring into this earth and leave a mark on the community or in our family, right? Because there's always somebody watching, and it's like that's what I'm passionate about, is walking in that light and stepping in that and showing that. So that's what I'm really passionate about. Of course, helping people in business too, but that's something I'm really passionate about.
That's a fact. All right. Now this is your Talk Your Ish moment, right? So here on the Young and Dumb Show, you get however much time you need to talk your ish, right? So talk your ish to anybody who ever doubted you. Talk your ish to maybe your college self or that ex shorty or whoever, talk your ish. It's your moment. Yeah,
talk your ish. So when it really comes down to like me talking my ish, I will say, at the end of the day, it comes time where everybody comes to know who they truly are. Know what they're truly capable of, right? A lot of y'all, or who didn't believe me, whatever the case may be, saw that, right? Might have saw that in me. I just didn't see it in myself. So I just appreciate every single one of you guys, because you guys show me different parts of my life that I need to work on, or different parts of my life that I want to excel in. Because it's like, you may think that you're hitting me in a weak spot, but now it's okay, bet. Now I'm going to turn up in that weak spot. So yeah, I mean, to have the financial freedom to keep working, to be someone that I know my family respects, to the people around me respect, it's truly the biggest thing. And again, if you've ever actually been around me, spent time with me, then you know what kind of heart that I have. And, a lot of times when you're on your journey to success, they all say you bring out people's demons or insecurities, and that does happen a lot. And I understand, and I love every single one of you guys, but you guys all know that I've come from a place of love, always giving you positivity, motivation, unless you try to play, and try to get disrespectful. But, to everyone out there that doubted me, it's a part of the process. Keep doubting me, please. Right. Let me know what else I can't do. Tell me the next thing I can't do. And I love that, and I appreciate all you guys. We all need people that don't believe in us, but I think it's more important the people that do believe in us is keep making them proud. Keep being someone that your mom, your father, your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, cousins could be proud of. That, yo, that's my people right there, and that he's one of them ones, or she's one of them ones that's gonna make a real impact out here.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And the last question is, what is your favorite financial lyric, or like lyric that talk about money, business? Like when you in your car, you be posting them videos, you rapping. Like what's that lyric like that hit home every time?
I think it's a Nipsey Hussle song. He's like, run this money marathon till my soul hurts. No materials can measure what my soul's worth. Where it's like, I'm going to run this race. I'm going to run it. I'm going to go hard as I can. Right. But at the end of the day, none of this materialistic stuff measures up to what my soul is worth to me and what it's worth to God. So that, and of course, financial freedom, my only hope, right? F living rich and dying broke, of course.
That's
but
the one
those,
for me, in fact.
Yeah, those two, that was the foundation. And that one, just that marathon mindset, man. And just knowing that these materialistic things it's not everything.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. You dropped a lot of gems. We definitely got to do a part 2.
Yes.
And next time, I already know you're going to be a billionaire. So.
For sure. And I want to thank you as well. And I want to give you your flowers as well. I mean, to have someone come out of Virginia State and to hear the work that you're actually doing, from the books to you actually working in the schools, giving them tangible education and financial literacy, is super inspiring to me. If I could trade places with you, I would do what you would be doing.
Thank you,
really,
bro.
from a heart of
you.
gold. And I
appreciate
have a lot of respect for the things that you've done on this campus, bringing financial literacy here. And I've had that inside of me here as well. And I'm happy that me and you together can
That's a fact.
uplift our people.
That's a
So
fact.
God bless you as well.
Nah, thank you. All right. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you learned. Let's get it. See y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.